Nagas and Northeastern, they were tribals. They were warriors. Traditionally. Just that they had a change of mind that they don't want to be with India. But they were basically warriors. So when they got the gun in their hands, they were good at it. Kashmiris were basically not fighters. The Dogras were. NSA and IM, they have a very structured organization.
This is a separate group. Separatist group.
Separatist group. It's a they call the undergrounds. They're not even called the separatists. They have a very, very structured organization. They have a political setup. They have a military setup. They have the military ranks. They have got their town commands. So there was one of a very dreadest town commander those days of Koima. So one day very good information came in, and this guy I was in Dimap at that time, and this guy, the information came that he's in a particular house. So took a small team and jumped across the wall into the house. I opened the door, and the house was covered, cordoned, and first thing is you knock the door. You knocked the door wasn't opening. So by then, break the door. So I kicked the door and it opened, and there was a lady who was there, and she went a little back. जो इन्फॉर्मर था उसने पीछे से उंगली कर दी कि वो है. So by then everybody went in, they picked him up. I suddenly saw that this lady is carrying, she's pregnant. So I asked her in Nagamese, I said, Didi, when are you expecting it? She says 3 days. It was not exactly an opportunity for me to do it, but it was, as I said, I'm that way a very spiritual person. And I somehow felt that probably this guy has come because she's about to
have a baby.
Okay. So I said, you sit down. Got her a glass of water, told somebody to give her a glass of water. And then I called that company commander aside. I said, dear, I said, sir, he was senior to me. I said, sir, galat ho jayega. क्या होगा? मैंने कहा सर वो शाम है, it's about 11:30 in the night, कर्फ्यू लगा हुआ है, अगर ये लेडी शॉक में चली गई तो ये बच्चा मर जाएगा. इसे क्या करें? वैसे जाने देते हैं. इसे अगर बात पता चल गई तो आई सेड सर ब्लेम इज माइन. बाकी बोल देंगे कि 10 खबर देते हैं, कभी कभी ये गलत भी हो जाती है, बट शुड लीक. सो I walked in and I used to have a beard those days. I sat with that guy and I told him, I don't know how much of a Christian you are, but I will not take this sin. If your child dies, I cannot live with that. I shall get you some other day. Today is your day. Thank you, baby, for it. And we came back. Of course, somebody did tell. इतने जूते पड़े उस दिन मेरे को, मैं ही जानता हूँ. But I felt good. I'm telling you, I felt good. And there was no aim, there was no future that was planned ki I will use that lady as an asset or something. Nothing of that sort. It was just purely human. Believe me, I didn't realize that this one nice act will help me some other day.
कैसे?
I was again posted back to Nagaland in 99.
This incident happened in?
This is in 95.
95 and you go back again in 99.
Okay. By 97, NSA and IM was in talks with the government. So there was a ceasefire and a ceasefire monitoring group was opened up from both sides. So they had their representatives, the army had their own representatives. And because of this act, though NSA and IM kept saying, no, we have a ceasefire with the central government and not with the state government. So the Assam Rifle IG, who is an army officer, of course, he went and locked the ceasefire monitoring group office of the NSA. Now, every August it used to be, re-signed. So 2000, it went away. August was signed new, or more chances of the ceasefire getting abrogated was there. By January, everybody was having, क्या करेंगे? Because again, it was an attempt for peace, this ceasefire. And it was an attempt for peace from both sides. And then one day the same IG called me. He says, Hunny, can you do something? I know you have contacts. I said, let me try. So now I went back looking for this lady. Because that was the best. And I knew her husband holds a good position in the IM.
You could call in a favor also.
Now I thought it was time. So I found out where the lady is. She was in Ukhrul, again, the hub of the Tangkhul Nagas. Till then I really did not know that this lady was the sister of the Naga army chief. So I met her. This was ceasefire time, so I never carried a weapon with me. I just used to carry a dagger. So I pulled out my dagger. It's a very tribal thing. I gave her the dagger and I said, give it to your husband from my side. I said, I want to meet him. She said, he's not here. I said, where? She said, I also don't know. But he generally comes to Dimapur. He has a friend there. So I took the friend's location. Again, I went back to Dimapur. Ukhrul is in Manipur, Dimapur is in Nagaland. So I went and met this guy late in the evening. So this was sometimes in December or January. So I said, I'm so and so. So this guy says, yeah, I've heard this, sir, I've heard this story about this. He was his friend. So naturally, we would sometimes discussed it. So he said, we were sitting. I said, he said he might come in February. That's what he told me last. So number de do, main meeting arrange kara dunga. He was having a drink. So he offered me a wine. He said, sir, would you like to have? I said, pee lete. I had one glass. He offered me the second. He says, one is for the enemy, two is for the friend. So I said, dusra le lete. And suddenly somebody called out from outside. And he says, you're very lucky. He's come.
Yeah.
That guy whom I wanted to meet, that husband, the town commander, he said, he's come. So now this guy comes in and this time I'm sitting there with a shaven face. And so there were two of them who came in. This guy was a little uncomfortable when he saw a non-Naga sitting in the house. So I could see that suspicion in him. At the end of the day, he's a militant, he's an underground. So I spoke to him in Nagamese again and I said, Malachini, do you recognize me? He said, Naito. So you remember, August 95, you were caught and you were left. Believe me, that guy came into Shavdan and he saluted me. He said, what do you want? I said, listen, I want the ceasefire back. Very important for the peace.
That's a tall ask.
I knew that in the entire NSA and IM, this was the only guy who could trust me. You see, a man comes in, you have shown your face, the human face. So that is the only way he can trust me. And so he said, sir, you come in the morning tomorrow and you'll get a message. I'll try and see if I can arrange something. So next day I went. So message was there that you go to a particular restaurant. Alone, no weapon. So I picked up my vehicle. I went to the restaurant. Anyway, he sat down. So I told him, I said, listen, in this entire army in this area today, I'm the only one you can trust. Because when we were at war, I showed my human angle. Today we are in peace. Only that the ceasefire has been abrogated. It's not being signed. So who do you trust? I have proven my credentials as a good man. So he says, sir, हमारा वो ceasefire का office पहले वापस कराओ. I said, listen, let's not keep egos here. You put a finger on any building in Dimapur, we'll get you that. But उसको अभी छोड़ दो. So meeting ended, came out. The ceasefire was back on.
Amazing.
So,
What a story.
Sometimes I rather say one should always be a good human being in the worst of the situations. There are people, we need to look after them.